Welcome everyone to this webcast with Zwipe. My name is Christian Spetalen and I work at the research department in Arctic, covering the tech sector. A lot has happened for Zwipe in the quarter with regards to partnerships and other good news. As the pandemic unfortunately continues to make headlines worldwide, consumers are more than ever cautious in regards to hygiene. As such, it was great to see the recent tweet from IDEMIA confirming that the biometric card development in partnership with Zwipe is, quote, coming soon. We remind participants to ask questions using the Q&A button, and we will take all the questions after the presentation. With that, I would like to give the word to André Løvestam, CEO of Zwipe, and Lars Christian Solheim, CFO of Zwipe. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christian, and thank you also to Arctic Securities for hosting this webcast, where I will be presenting the first quarter 2021 update and also giving a general presentation on the status and outlook of Zwipe. We have released the Q1 update today, but even more importantly, we have also released for the first time the first public demonstration of our flagship product, the Zwipe Pay 1 platform. And without much further ado, let's play it for the audience.
Hello everyone, my name is André Løvestam, CEO of Zwipe, a biometric fintech company that has been pioneering the biometric payment space for years. Our mission statement is making convenience safe and secure, and we do that by combining the convenience of contactless with the security of biometrics, meaning that we replace the PIN code with your fingerprint, which can be authenticated on the card. In connection with our first quarter 2021 update, I have the privilege today, for the first time, to publicly demonstrate the world's first single silicon biometric system on card that is being offered to card manufacturers globally, namely Zwipe Pay 1. But first of all, why biometric payment cards? Well, biometric payment cards offer a range of benefits to all important stakeholders. For consumers, there has been a constant need for convenience, a speedy, consistent user experience both above and below the transaction limit. In addition, security to alleviate concerns around misuse of lost or stolen cards and also of skimming. And then also coolness, just the attraction of using a new and innovative technology. In the wake of COVID-19, hygiene has also become an important factor because a biometric payment card eliminates the need to ever touch the payment terminal, exposing you to risk of infection. For issuers, biometric payment cards offer an opportunity to differentiate from competition by taking extra good care of their customers, meeting all these needs, addressing all these concerns, and bringing their customers peace of mind. This translates into an opportunity to attract new customers, to uplift loyalty among existing customers, and to open up a whole new source of revenue because, as evidenced in our comprehensive research across many markets, consumers are willing to pay to get access to such a card. And for card manufacturers, biometric payment cards represent a historic opportunity to uplift the value of their product, reusing their existing production equipment and taking profitable market share through innovation. So here it is. This is a third generation biometric payment card. It is based on Zwipe Pay 1, a single silicon platform that significantly reduces the complexity and cost of the design and the production process for biometric payment cards, enabling an accelerated path to mass market volumes. The biometric secure element combines in a single chip the functionality of an EMV chip, an MCU, and other components to deliver all the necessary functionality for a biometric payment card, including storage and processing of fingerprint data, energy harvesting and power management, all without the use of a battery. This new architecture contains a passive inlay and two components that are mounted post-lamination, namely our ISO contact plate module, where the single silicon secure element is mounted on the back, and the third generation quality area fingerprint sensor from IDEX. This means that the inlay in the card can be passive, meaning there are no components on it, enabling a standard card production process using hot lamination and existing equipment. I will now perform a fully functional live transaction for you with this fully functional demo card. Both the terminal and the card have been set up with test keys, so this is an accurate emulation of a payment transaction at a merchant, except that no money will change hands. I have already keyed in a transaction amount of 15,000 kroners, which is 30 times the transaction limit and 10 times the accumulated transaction limit before a PIN will be required on a typical contactless card in Norway. Since I'm using a biometric card, I do not need to enter a PIN code. The transaction is fully EMV authenticated and authorized through my fingerprint in a simple touch-free tap and pay transaction. The fingerprint sensor is already asking for the card. So I place my finger on the fingerprint sensor, and here we go. Zwipe 1 offers superior energy efficiency, excellent biometric performance, and a highly competitive cost level for both components and card manufacturing. Thank you for watching. And for those of you who want more, let's quickly run through some more transactions. Okay, let's do some more transactions just for the fun of it. So let's start with 1,000 kroners. Why don't we continue with 2,500? And then let's go to 15,000. And some crazy amounts. Let's do 100,000. And after all, since it's Wednesday, let's finish off with almost 1 million kroners, meaning about 100,000 euros. No PIN, nothing, fully authorized. And that's it. Thank you.
So this was our first demo. Of course, this is a milestone for us, being able to show this to the greater public. Of course, we have done hundreds, if not thousands, of demo transactions already, both in our own facilities and also for customers and potential customers. Let's go back then to the presentation. First of all, let's take a look at what's happened in the first quarter, where the strong operational momentum continues. So we have continued to grow our ecosystem of partners, announcing 5 new card manufacturing customers with a total of 180 million payment cards being shipped annually during the quarter. In addition to that, we have also extended our partnership and grown our partnership with Tag Systems, who, as part of Austria Card Tag, delivers about 100 million cards annually, and where we have now also engaged deeply with Tag Nightcrest in the UK. In addition, in response to very strong interest for biometric payment cards in India, we have partnered up with Masterline, a strategic go-to-market partner for us, to ensure local presence in the Indian market. And we see this as a first step to really grow our presence in India. Of course, as part of the 5 new customers is already KL High-Tech, which is an important player in the Indian market and very much beyond. I will come back to more details on that. On the technology side, we've taken new steps towards technology readiness with the Zwipe 1 project passing most of the critical milestones and major risk points. We are close to completion of the whole project. There is still just some minor, optimization being done, which will further improve the performance of the product, but it is already working impeccably, as you have seen. And as of today, we are now also presenting the demos publicly for the first time, as you know. Commercially, we have also announced pilots with Vopi, Swedish-Norwegian fintech, focusing mainly on telecom operators and utilities that have huge customer bases and large CRM and KYC systems in place, where we can offer biometric payment cards as part of Vopi's offering of financial services to these players. And we will be doing pilots from the 3rd quarter of this year. And we are also partnering with BWise Pay, who is part of the BWise ecosystem in France and the Benelux, with more than 3,000 employees and serving many of the leading banks in those markets. We have continued to engage in consumer insight studies, which are consistently showing and confirming the interest for biometric payment cards, with the majority of consumers wanting payment cards and showing high willingness to pay. And organizationally, we have strengthened particularly the sales organization, but also in project management, in the technology organization. So we are generally strengthening our organization. I would particularly want to highlight on the sales side that we have a new chief sales officer in place and a new VP of key accounts in place, namely John Goodale and Andy Sains, respectively, who have both joined from January. And John, of course, brings almost 2 decades of experience at one of the world's leading processors, TSYS, and also a long track record within professional services from KPMG and DMR Consulting. Andy is also bringing very valuable experience. Andy is the former sales director of G&D UK and also has almost 2 decades of experience from Entrust Datacard, which is an important player in the payments and card ecosystem. We have also, again, as a response to very strong regional interest, recruited a general manager for the MENA region, meaning Middle East and North Africa. And this is Ramzi Saburi, a very strong figure in the ecosystem in the Middle East. Ramzi brings a couple of decades of experience from banks in Kuwait and the Middle East area. He's also been the general manager for Visa for 5 years in the whole Levant region. And recently he was the chief commercial officer of our partner Ariba, who we are partnering with very closely. So this, we are delighted to bring these resources on board, and they will fundamentally strengthen our capabilities going forward. In terms of financials, we still have a very strong cash position, with the quarter ending at a cash balance of 109 million kroners, and with still low monthly cash flow or cash outflow of around 6 million kroners per month. To be quite specific, we had an average of 6.3 million in the first quarter this year versus 5.8 million last year, reflecting that we are strengthening the organization. And I guess we will continue to see a similar development going forward as the opportunity is getting ever closer. We are, of course, for all practical purposes, a pre-revenue company still. So our revenues were only 300,000 kroners in the first quarter this year versus 400,000 last year. But these are small fluctuations that do not really matter. So let's look at Zwipe. What are we about? Well, first of all, we are addressing a huge market. 4 billion units of payment cards are issued each year, and it's been characterized by growth from innovation. And now it seems like a consensus opinion that biometric payment cards are indeed the next wave of innovation in this market, and it will fuel some strong growth because it can uplift the value of the products quite significantly. We're also seeing that the mass market price inflection point is in sight, and this of course is very much thanks to the technology that we are bringing to market, the Zwipe One product, where in collaboration with IDEMIA we have managed to reduce the total cost of the system down to a cost level which will trigger mass market takeoff. So we are positioned to take a technology and cost leadership position with this disruptive technology, and we do have a strong IP portfolio as well. We are taking a unique one-stop shop approach to the market, and I will come back to this in more detail. And we're seeing a soaring demand for our product, primarily due to COVID-19, of course, with increasing consciousness about touching shared surfaces like, for example, the payment terminals. We're also seeing a fast-growing customer and partner base with global coverage. I will come back to that as well. And we have a strong management and board. And importantly, we have a very lean and scalable business model that's ready for growth, and that is very sensitive to volume growth. So the value add of biometric payment cards, I think, is comprehensively presented in the video that you have just seen. As you will understand, the biometric payment cards brings benefits to all stakeholders. The consumers get convenience, they get security, they get hygiene effects. The issuers get an opportunity to take good care of their customers, uplifting loyalty, attracting new customers, and opening up new revenue streams. SCMs card manufacturers have a historic opportunity to uplift their the value of their products and take profitable market share. And of course, merchants can see an acceleration of the payment process, which will lead to lower queues and so on. So it brings benefits to all. And when it comes to the technology development, you know, the name of the game in the market is component integration with radical complexity down, size down, cost down. To the left here, you see a picture of the first generation cards where the components are mounted on an active inlay, which of course means a high bill of material, high production cost, because you cannot use hot lamination to laminate such a card, it would ruin the components. And of course, also very expensive yield loss, because when there is yield loss, all the technology is burnt. So this has not really been conducive to market takeoff. Then there is another development that we're seeing in the marketplace where a system in package solution is developed, whereby you can combine several components into a module. And that is a partial solution to the cost problem, to the complexity problem. But in order to take that development all the way, you need to come down to a single silicon solution where all of the technology, all of the functionality is combined into one single silicon, one chip. And this is this has always been the aim of the strategic partnership with IDEMIA, where we are on track to deliver this radical unit cost reduction, where major risk points are already passed, and where we're targeting pilots from the third quarter and the first commercial deployment starting towards the end of the year. This single silicon solution will offer best-in-class biometric performance and energy efficiency, in addition to the highly competitive cost level. And Zwipe retains the worldwide exclusive distribution rights for the lifetime of the product to all manufacturers of payment cards, wearables, and other payment solutions. So IDEMIA will be using the single silicon chip in their own cards, which they announced last week, the F-Code 2, towards their financial institution customers. And Zwipe has built an entire platform and BSOC around this single chip solution that we are offering to all other card manufacturers. And this way we are actually enabling the competitors of IDEMIA in the marketplace, which we, together with IDEMIA, believe is the best way to develop and to grow this market on a global scale. We can deliver a full turnkey solution. So anything that the customer needs in order to deliver a biometric payment card, we can deliver, from the ISO contact plate module, where the single chip is mounted on the back. You know, this chip is only just over 2 by 2 millimeters in size. Also, of course, biometric Java card operating systems, inlay and card reference designs, integration support, and optionally for customers, we can also offer fully biometric aware payment applets, and also the fingerprint sensor from IDEX, which is the third generation quality area sensor. So, and then of course, on top of that, we can also deliver pre-laminate sheets with passive inlays according to customer specifications, and also enrollment solutions, both the sleeve solution, where you actually enter the card and enroll. And we're also far into the development of a mobile assisted enrollment solution. This slide is quite important because it explains the cornerstones of our competitive position. And I would like to highlight that we built out this slide. Not only do we have technology, cost, and performance leadership, we also offer a one-stop shop offering to customers. And for most of the card manufacturing customers, the tier 2s and tier 3s of this world, you know, a one-stop shop offering is extremely important. They don't necessarily have the resources, nor the competence, nor the time to actually engage into developing their own solutions. They need a turnkey solution, and that is what we offer. And on top of that, we also offer value-adding trusted advisor contributions, both in terms of how to get production ready and how to get sales ready. On top of all that, we're also offering an aggregator role, because many of these customers would not be able to achieve good prices on components, whereas we, for the Zwipe One platform, will have significant volumes and therefore much more leverage in price discussions with component suppliers. But I think the most important thing are the two bottom points there, because Zwipe is fully focused and dedicated only to biometric payments. And this means that we have an in-depth competence that it will be very hard to match from others than those that are dedicated. So when we are on a global scale competing with large companies and distributed sales organizations that don't have the same dedication and that also have to work on business as usual, core business, etc., we are standing very strong and very competent. And on top of that, we also have a company culture that we're constantly building and developing, where passion and agility and willingness to serve is alpha and omega. As said, we are seeing very strong interest for biometric payment cards all over the markets where we are looking. I think it's very interesting to see that 78% of UK consumers say that they prefer to use the contactless payment cards, whereas only 17% prefer to use smartphone. And this has a lot to do with ingrained habits and the simplicity of using a payment card. And with biometrics, this becomes even simpler. So when we explain the concept, 79% of the UK consumers say that they want their next payment card to be biometric. More than half of the consumers say they are willing to pay a monthly fee for that, which is significant in a market like the UK, where banking has generally been seen as a free service. And then 49% of consumers say that they are even ready to switch to a new bank to get access to a biometric payment card. I find it exciting to see that this communication and these findings are clearly endorsed and acknowledged by issuers when we are talking to them. Sorry. So as said, we are building a global and growing network of card manufacturing partners and other ecosystem partners. We have now engaged with we are engaging with more than 40 out of the 50 top card manufacturers. We have announced a total now of 21 collaborations. So this slide is a little bit outdated, of which 4 are anonymous. This is important for us as a map to our go-to-market approach. We are, of course, working with smart card manufacturers, and here is a few examples of our partners in that area. But as you have noticed, we're also building our presence and our partnerships within processors and perso bureaus in order to reach the issuers and the financial institutions. And with our pull strategy, we're also engaging directly with issuers, and we have now reached out to more than 300 banks. And we have a lot of very positive response and high-level executive attention from also issuers in this area. What we have found is that smart card manufacturers are, of course, completely decisive in an ecosystem. Without them, there are no cards. But having said that, we have also understood the importance of the role that processors and perso bureaus are playing towards issuers. And for many of the issuers, it's actually the processors or perso bureaus who are the most important drivers and maybe even the owners of the relationship to them as a customer. And we have a continued strong and growing pipeline in each of these categories. So let me just spend a couple of minutes on our 2 new focus area markets. First of all, the Middle East. MENA is Middle East and North Africa. MEA is the entire Middle East and Africa regions. So only MENA consists of 24 countries, almost 600 million population. And of course, it's an oil-rich region of the world. And if you look at the entire MEA region, we are seeing a card volume of around 900 million cards issued annually this year. And the card volume growth is expected to be the fastest in the world, according to thank you, RBR consultants. So and when we look at India, this is also a huge market, of course, 1.4 billion inhabitants, and around, again, 900 million cards being issued annually, and again with very strong year-on-year growth figures. We have several partners in this region. First of all, Masria in Egypt, who are delivering cards to 80% of the banks in Egypt, serving about 175 plus banks in the whole of MEA, including also Kenya and Ghana, and being a leading provider of payment cards, Perso services, and card processing in Egypt. Then you have Ariba, who are delivering cards and payment services to more than 20 banks. They have created a joint venture with one of the largest banks in Egypt to deliver payment products, and they are also a strong provider of card, Perso, and processing services in the Middle East. Ariba, by the way, was a driver of all the pilots that we participated in together with Gemalto and Visa in 2018, and are a long-standing partner of ours. Encrypt, also based in Lebanon, serving more than 50 banks in the Middle East and some of the countries also in Africa, focusing mostly on delivering payment cards to the Perso bureaus and banks across that region. And then you have Veritech, who is also delivering card Perso services to most of the top banks in Kuwait, and who are also delivering a lot of card Perso and management software. KL High-Tech, if we go to India, is the second largest card manufacturer in that market, delivering around 30 million payment cards annually to over 250 financial institutions across 52 countries in Asia and the MEA region. They also have other card products in their portfolio. And Masterline, as I mentioned, is a strategic business partner of ours, helping to bring the Zwipe Pay 1 biometric payment cards out to all the different players in the system. And they have a very strong and proven partner network to help us on that journey. So on the outlook or our aspirations, you know, we have said that medium term, we are targeting revenue of 1 billion. We very carefully selected the term medium term because we didn't have control over when the market is taking off. And with hindsight, I'm very glad we did that because, of course, as you know, it has taken longer than anyone has expected. Now the market is really warming up to taking off. So I think that you know, now we're soon getting there, where we start deployments and then start on that journey towards the first milestone, which is a $1 billion Norwegian kroner turnover. External predictions on volume projections vary, but leading analyst firms like UBS and Good Intelligence have both recently released some new sector reports suggesting 15% and 20% respectively of penetration of the entire card market with biometric payment cards by 2026. On average, when you take the deliveries that we will have to each payment card, we are targeting $3 to $4. This, of course, is a weighted average. Some customers will probably only buy the ISO contact plate module. Others will buy the entire turnkey solution, including the sensor and everything. And on average, our expectation is to have an ASP of $3 to $4 for these deliveries, with healthy margins and with a very scalable business model where we will be reaching EBITDA margins of 20+% when we are seeing volume growth. And the cash flow break-even volume is expected at around 6 million units per annum, which of course is a very low volume compared to the huge potential here. And our monthly spending and cash flow is fully according to plan, according to previous announcements, and we will continue on that track. So here are 4 slides to show you the news flow that we've had over the last 12 months or so. This just shows that, you know, we have been communicating that we have a very strong pipeline, and then we have delivered news flow, and this has continued over the last months as well. And recently in April, we have announced KL High-Tech, Bewise Pay, and also the strengthening and local presence in the MENA region and in India. And we have a continued strong pipeline. So don't expect any changes to this trend. So my final slide is that we are now about to enter the next phase of increased commercial efforts and approaching subsequently rollout to consumers. We are near completion of the development and the finalization, the crossing of the T's, the dotting of the I's in terms of the development of Zwipe Pay 1. We have a historically strong pipeline at the moment. We have a highly competent, passionate, and agile organization that is working there in the market, managing a disruptive technology that we are bringing to market that is in demand and that is being received very positively. And we're also building a robust ecosystem of partners that take an increasingly proactive role in promoting Zwipe in their local markets. And this is all laying a strong foundation for long-term value creation. And with that, I will hand over to you, Christian.
Thank you, Andrea. We have a couple of questions here, and we only have 13 minutes before we have to end. So let's try to keep answers a bit quick. So first, hello and thanks for the demo. Is it also functional with the chip that is dual interface?
Yes, absolutely. So you can also, you can also enter the card and just hold on the sensor, and the transaction will be authorized and go through. And
the second question here, or it's actually 2 questions, but I think you have talked a bit about it as well, but maybe reiterate it. What is your core technology, and what is the price point to the banks or end customers?
What is the core technology and what is the price points?
Yes.
Okay. So when it comes to our core technology, I think we can go back to this slide here. Our core technology is the Zwipe Pay 1 platform. And this consists of all these components. The ISO contact plate module, which is a Zwipe ISO contact plate module with the single chip secure element, the EMV chip that we have been co-investing with IDEMIA to develop. And then, of course, also all the other deliveries that we can deliver in order to deliver a whole Zwipe Pay 1 package, a turnkey solution for biometric payment cards. All of these elements are Zwipe unique elements. Of course, we are buying the fingerprint sensor from IDEX, but otherwise, I mean, these are Zwipe deliverables. And on top of that, as I mentioned, we also have some really strong and interesting IP related to transaction wait time extension and also post-lamination. When it comes to the price points, we don't want to disclose any specifics on price points for this, but the indication that I gave you is that our average sales price on a weighted approach is $4, $3 to $4 per card.
Thank you, André. And the next question is, when do you think we can expect a commercial rollout?
We expect commercial rollouts to start by the end of the year, to grow significantly during 2022, and then to see strong to exponential growth thereafter for many, many years to come. You can imagine going from 0 to reaching a 15 to 20% penetration in 2026 and targeting a significant market share. You know, our target is to reach a 30% market share. That will translate into exponential growth for many years to come.
And the next question, any comments in regards to Visa/MasterCard verification?
Well, I guess the question relates to certification. That, of course, is already, in process. It is a process that does take time. But when we have said that we will do pilots starting from the third quarter and deployments towards the end of the year, you can expect that certification lies in between those two milestones. And we are, of course,
market?
Sorry, just to say, we are, of course, confident that we will reach that those certifications.
Which markets, regions do you think will be the first movers for biometric payment cards?
Well, BNP Paribas has already announced that they will be offering cards to all their or all their customers this summer. So France is taking a strong lead. I think there are many other markets in Europe that will also be strong. UK, Benelux, the Nordics. But on top of that, I believe that the Middle East will be a very strong contender, and also India, potentially also other Asian markets. But it's mainly in Europe, Middle East, and Asia that I think we will see the first movers.
So what is the current cost per card, and how is it compared to sales?
And how is it compared to sales? I don't understand that.
Yes, to the average sales price.
Well, all I can say here is that we are developing a very highly competitive platform on cost level. So we will be able to support the price inflection point of $10. Of course, there are also other stakeholders in the value chain. You have the perso bureaus, you have the card manufacturers. We cannot speak for them. We are supplying the technology to enable the production and delivery of these products. But from our side, we can clearly support such a price level. And when it comes to sales prices, I can only say that we have indicated that we will have strong margins, and that will be as far as I can go. I don't want to give any more details on that. We are confident that we can deliver on the cost, and we are confident that we will be able to deliver strong margins. That's the point.
And the next question relates to ESG. Is there anything that Zwipe can do to capitalize on this trend?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat the question?
Yes, sorry. So the next question relates to ESG. And the question is if there is anything Zwipe can do to capitalize on the trend?
Oh, well, absolutely. I mean, first of all, we are looking at and already working on using recycled PVC, recycled plastic in the cards, and supporting that on all possible components. So that is an important point. And then on top of that, I just wanted to highlight this, what should I say, societal benefits of biometric payment cards in reducing the risk of infection, because obviously there are billions of touches of a payment terminal each day, and with a biometric payment card that can be eliminated completely.
And there's a question here asking if you could elaborate a bit on the competitive landscape. What is the difference between, for example, Zwipe, Next, IDEX, and fingerprint cards?
Well, I mean, the difference is that Zwipe, IDEX, and IDEX, Next, and fingerprint cards are all suppliers of fingerprint sensors. We are a provider of a full platform. Then I have noticed that as far as I could see, Next is mostly focusing on other markets than payments. IDEX is a close partner of ours. They also have an alternative approach where they can combine their sensor with other secure elements. So we'll see how that pans out. And when it comes to fingerprint cards, I have no further comments. I mean, we are not working with fingerprint cards at the moment.
And then last question we have time for. What are the biggest challenges for large-scale biometric card rollout?
Well, I think the biggest challenge has been cost, the cost of the product. That has really been the obstacle to volume takeoff. Please bear in mind that there has now been cards based on the first generation approach, which have been certified all the time since January last year. And we still haven't seen volume rollouts. And I believe that cost is a major reason for that. Another one may have been ecosystem readiness. And then, of course, on top of that, COVID-19 has radically increased the demand for these products, which again changes the business model because it gives a huge opportunity for issuers, for example, to monetize on this opportunity. So I think these have been the biggest obstacles, and now, fortunately, they seem all to have been addressed, and that's why I don't really see any obstacles anymore. And I think that this market is now truly ready for takeoff, and that is for the first time.
Okay, André, thank you very much. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. So thank you for the presentation and all the questions and everyone who listened in. And thank you to Zwipe for coming to us and having the webcast.
Thank you, Christian. And again, thank you to Arctic for hosting me.